The Dassault Mirage 2000 is a French multi-role single-engine delta-wing fourth-generation jet fighter manufactured by Dassault Aviation. It was designed in the late 1970s as a lightweight fighter to replace the Mirage 3 for the French Air Force. The Mirage 2000 evolved into a multi-role aircraft with several variants developed, with sales to a number of nations. It was later developed into the Mirage 2000N and 2000D strike variants, the improved Mirage 2000-5, and several export variants. Over 600 aircraft were built, and it has been in service with 9 nations. The origins of the Mirage 2000 could be traced back to 1965 when France and Britain agreed to develop the Anglo-French Variable Geometry Swing Wing Aircraft, or AFG. 2 years later, France withdrew from the project on grounds of costs, after which Britain would collaborate with West Germany and Italy to ultimately produce the Panavia Tornado. Dassault instead focused on its own variable geometry aircraft, the Dassault Mirage G experimental prototype. The design was expected to materialize in the Mirage G8, which would serve as the replacement for the popular Mirage 3 in the French Air Force service. The Mirage 2000 started out as a secondary project tentatively named Delta 1000 in 1972. Dassault was devoting considerable attention to the Mirage G8A, a fixed geometry derivative of the Mirage G8 that served as a competitor to the Panavia Tornado. The Mirage G8 was envisioned as the Avion de Combat Futur, ACF, or Future Combat Aircraft of the French Air Force. Did not align with the service's conception of its future aircraft. The ADA wanted a Mach 3 fighter, not an interdictor aircraft incapable of dogfighting that was the Mirage G8. As such, Dassault redesigned the Mirage G8 into two-seat Super Mirage G8A that would prove to be ambitious and expensive, being 2.5 times the price of Mirage F1 and over-engineered, especially compared to the General Dynamics F-16 that had just won orders from a number of European countries. Consequently, during a meeting of the National Defense Council on the 18th of December 1975, the Super Mirage was cancelled. The ACF was a strike aircraft first and an interceptor second, while the Delta 2000 was reverse, but single-engine Delta 2000 was much more affordable. At the same National Defense Council meeting, the redesignated Mirage 2000 was offered to the ADA, and 3 prototypes were ordered. The ADA in March 1976 issued a set of official requirements whose parameters match those of Dassault's performance estimates of a new fighter. The aircraft's primary role was interception with secondary ground attack capability. The ADA had commitment for 200 aircraft. The first aircraft was delivered in 1982. This was the return to the first-generation Mirages, but with several import innovations that tried to solve their shortcomings. The production of the Mirage 2000 involved 3 construction sites, 2 located in Bordeaux that specialized in different components. The wings were built in Martignas, and the fuselages were fabricated at Argenteuil, northwest of Paris, with final assembly taking place at Bordeaux Merignac Airport. The first prototype, Mirage 2000 No. 1, though, was hand-built at St. Cloud before being moved to Dassault Istres facility for assembly. At the hands of Jean Courrier, Number 1 made its first flight on 10th of March 1978, a mere 27 months after program go-ahead. During the 65-minute flight, Courrier took the aircraft to Mach 1.02 without an afterburner, before climbing to more than 12,000 meters and accelerating the aircraft to Mach 1.3. By the end of May, the aircraft had surpassed Mach 2 and indicated airspeed of 1,200 kilometers per second, or 650 knots. Per hour, not per second. Fucking idiot. On the other hand, of the speed spectrum, Mirage 2000 proved to be capable of low-speed flight, as demonstrated at the Farnborough Air Show in September 1978, during which Dassault pilot Guy Marord raised the aircraft's nose to 25 degrees angle of attack, and as the aircraft slowed to 190 kilometers an hour, or 100 knots. Later tests showed the aircraft could attain 30 degrees angle of attack while carrying fuel tanks and weapons. The second prototype, number 2, made its 50-minute first flight in September 1978 at controls of Marord. The aircraft was to test some avionics systems and carriage of weapons. Due to a flame-out while on landing approach, the aircraft was lost in May 1984. Number 3 made its first flight in April 79, equipped with a complete weapons system. It was used for radar and weapons trials. After 400 hours of flight, they were sent to Centre d'Essais en Vol Flight Test Center. Although 3 prototypes were ordered in December 1975, Dassault constructed an additional 4th single-seat demonstrator for its own purposes, which embodied lessons on earlier aircraft, namely the reduction in fin height and increased fin sweep, redesigned air inlets, and FWB systems. The only dual-seat Mirage 2000B of the test program first flew on the 11th of October 1980. Can't read for shit tonight. The first production Mirage 2000C flew on the 20th of November 1982. Deliveries to the ADA began in 1983, and the first 37 Mirage 2000Cs delivered were fitted with the Thomson CSF radar Doppler multifunction RDM and were powered by the Snecma M53 5-turbofan engine. Snecma, not smegma. Gross. The 38th Mirage 2000C had an upgraded Snecma M53 P2 turbofan engine. The radar Doppler Impulsion RDI, built by Thales for Mirage 2000C, entered service in 1987. It had much improved range of about 150 kilometers and is linked to Matra Super 530D missiles, which are much improved compared to older Super 530F. Look-down, shoot-down capabilities are much improved as well, but this radar is not usually used for air-to-surface roles. The Mirage 2000N is a dedicated nuclear strike variant, which was intended to carry the Air Sol Moyenne Porte nuclear standoff missile. Flight tests of the first 2 prototypes, Mirage 2000N 01, began on the 3rd of February 1983. During the 65-minute flight, the aircraft reached a speed of Mach 1.5. The variant entered operational service in 1988, initially operating from Luxeuil Air Base with the 4E Escadre de Chasse, whatever the fuck that is. Closely derived from the Mirage 2000N, it is a dedicated conventional attack variant designated Mirage 2000D. Initial flight of the Mirage 2000D prototype, a modified Mirage 2000N prototype, was on February 1991. The first flight of a production aircraft occurred on the 31st of March 1993, and service introduction followed in April 1995. 75 and 86 Mirage 2000Ns and Mirage 2000Ds were manufactured respectively. By the 1980s, the Mirage 2000 was beginning to age compared to the latest models of F-16 fighters. In particular, attention was drawn to the aircraft's inability to engage multiple targets simultaneously and the small load of air-to-air missiles it could carry. Consequently, Dassault, in April 1989, announced that with the cooperation of Thomas CSF, it would be working on a privately funded update of the Mirage 2000C, which was named the Mirage 2000-5. A 2-seat Mirage 2000B prototype was extensively modified as the first Mirage 2000-5, and it first flew on the 24th of October 1990. A Mirage 2000C prototype was also reworked into a similar standard, making it its initial flight on the 27th of April 1991. The first frontline aircraft variant to have been designed specifically in response to export market. Taiwan was the first country to order the type in 1992, followed by Qatar in 94. The type was first delivered in 96 and entered service in 97. Domestically, Dassault needed an order from the ADA to help promote foreign sales, and in 93, the ADA decided to upgrade 37 of their existing Mirage 2000s to 2000-5 specification as a stopgap before the arrival of the Rafale in ADA service. The upgraded aircraft was redesignated the Mirage 2000-5F and became operational in 2000. They retained old countermeasure system with the Serval, Sabre, and Spiral units and did not receive the ICM S2 systems. The two-seat version was developed as well, whose rear seat had heads-up display but not an associated head-leveled display and lacks a built-in cannon, although cannon pods can be carried. At the urging of the United Arab Emirates, Dassault worked on a further modification of the Mirage 2000-5, initially dubbed the Mirage 2000-9. This variant had the upgrade of the radar and associated avionics and change of weapons configuration and an extension of range. The last Mirage 2000 was delivered on the 23rd of November 2007 to the Hellenic Air Force. Afterwards, the production line was shut down. And to just quickly finish off the Mirage 2000 is a supersonic combat aircraft of metal construction that shares the general delta wing layout with Mirage 3, yet incorporates avionics advances that help overcome the latter's aerodynamic limitations. The aircraft's low-set, thin wing has a leading-edge sweep back of 58 degrees and a trailing-edge forward sweep of 3.5 degrees. The flight surfaces on the wings are composed of 4 elevons and 4 leading-edge slats. The feature of the delta wing is that it offers comparatively large wing area for a particular design, thereby reducing the wing loading. The wing on the Mirage 2000 has an area of 41 meters squared, giving a wing loading of some 77 pounds per square foot at takeoff. At a takeoff weight of 33,000 pounds, making it much more maneuverable than the F-15 and similarly sized F-16, which has a wing loading of 110 pounds per square foot. At normal combat load, however, the wing loading reduces to 45 pounds square feet. One related advantage of the delta wing design, and especially the Mirage 2000's blending of the wing, root, and engine, is that it could accommodate more fuel. As the aircraft's internal fuel tanks can carry over 900 gallons of fuel, up to more than 200 gallons of over the Mirage 3. The aircraft's fuselage is of traditional monocoque construction made of almost entirely metal. The fuselage has been area ruled to maintain consistent cross-sectional area along with the delta wing to minimize drag. The aircraft uses retractable tricycle landing gear by Miser Dowdy, with twin nose wheels and a single wheel on each main gear. A runway tailhook or fairing for brake parachute can be fitted underneath the tail, which can operate in conjunction with the landing gear's carbon brakes to shorten the landing distances. A removable refueling probe can be attached in front of the cockpit, offset slightly to the right of center. An air brake is fitted above and below each wing in an arrangement very similar to that of the Mirage 3. A noticeably taller tail fin allows the pilot to retain control at angles of attack past 25 degrees, assisted by small strakes mounted along each air intake. Some composites have been used for the fins, rudder, elevons, and various access panels, giving a weight saving of some 100 kilograms. The Mirage 2000 has been noted for its superb handling, especially given its delta wing design. Dassault engineers have embedded into design a certain degree of relaxed stability as the center of gravity or neutral point is placed ahead of the center of pressure, enhancing the maneuverability. It incorporates negative stability and a fly-by-wire controls with 4 analog computers. As first demonstrated in 1978 Farnborough Air Show, such designs, as well as the use of computer-controlled dynamic controls, were capable of overcoming the delta wing shortcomings related to poor low-speed control, while retaining the advantages such as low drag, low radar cross-section, ideal high-speed aerodynamics, and large internal volume, as well as simplicity provided by the absence of horizontal tail surfaces. The aircraft's flight control system is fly-by-wire with two distinct modes of operation. The first allows for unrestricted operations within its full allowed flight envelope and is used when carrying only air-to-air weapons. The second is used when carrying fuel tanks, air-to-ground munitions, or a mix of both. The second mode functions as a G-limiter, preventing heavier munitions from damaging the pylons that they are mounted on, and preventing them from potentially being pulled off the pylons by excessive G-force.